Guatemalan President Alejandro Giammattei has proclaimed Guatemala the pro-life capital of Latin America. Giammattei promised to protect life from conception to natural death and said that he would fight for families in his nation. He also said March 9th will be a National Day of Life in Guatemala going forward. And joining me now to talk more about this is Alejandro Bermudez, Executive Director of ACI Group. Alejandro, great to see you. Welcome back. Let's talk a little bit more about Guatemala. How does it compare to other Latin American countries when it comes to protecting life?
Well, some other countries have very pro-life legislation. El Salvador, for example, but definitely Guatemala is an outlier in how evidently and how the authorities, the political authorities, has been so outspoken in terms of defending life, to the point that there was actually last week a ceremony to establish officially Guatemala City as the pro-life capital of the world. Is a little bit of a hyperbole, but pretty deserved deserved by how the laws are being passed or considered in Guatemala.
Yeah, and another thing I want to talk about is, you know, on the other side, Colombia has become the latest Latin American country to legalize abortion, that is, allowing it up to 24 weeks of pregnancy. Alejandro, what do you think led to this change?
Well, there is a systematic targeting country by country by the international pro-abortion lobby. That's a fact. And obviously, we Catholics have not been sufficiently prepared, at least in Argentina, which was the major target. Mexico continues to be a target, and Colombia was the next one. And they found that it was impossible to legalize abortion through the Congress and Senate because it's a pro-life country. So they decided for many years to influence in how the members of the Constitutional Court, what will be the Supreme Court, were chosen. So if you want kind of like the opposite of what has been happening with the Supreme Court in the United States happened in Colombia, and choices have consequences, and that's what happened in Colombia. Awful law that would allow Colombia to abort babies until they are viable, 6 months.
So sad. Another thing I want to talk about on a different note, Bishop Emeritus Gustavo Zanchetta from Argentina, as you know, was found criminally guilty of sexually abusing seminarians. What more can you tell us about that? What more do you know?
Well, it was a really fair investigation. There were testimonies that could sink a ship against him. And the law did the right thing. And it's unfortunate that the canonical process was not completed before that. There was an archbishop in Argentina that was entrusted with that investigation. He completed his canonical investigation, sent it to the Congregation of the Doctrine of the Faith, and we're still expecting the canonical, the church side of the investigation, but the legal side is sending him to jail for the right reasons.
Another thing I want to talk about, we don't have a whole lot of time left, but something else that's making headlines. A Vatican diplomat was recently expelled from Nicaragua. However, the details about his expulsion are rather vague. Do you know any more about it?
Yes, we knew that this was coming, Tracy, because once the nuncio, who performed his duties magnificently well, impeccable conduct as an apostolic nuncio, but once he mentioned political prisoners, so he used the term political prisoners, that was enough for the dictatorship of Ortega, like every dictator, just they start becoming crazy. So we knew that Ortega was going to come back with some kind of revenge, embarrassing himself, because this is embarrassing. There was no reason to do this as a nation and as a state, which speaks more about what Ortega is right now in his state of mind than where the Vatican is with the performance of its duties in the diplomatic sphere.
Well, Alejandro, so much more we can talk about in Latin America, but we're running out of time. Thank you so much for your time today and speaking with us about all this. We really appreciate it.